Namaste, angels. I'm going to do the daily reading for the 10th and through the weekend. So that's going to include the 11th, of course, with our new moon. That's going to include the 12th with the first day of Elul. Also, the 10th is, it's kind of like a second Ramadan. Yeah, that's how I'm going to explain it. All right, so on 6/10, we celebrated, during the month of Ramadan, we celebrated Muhammad having received the Quran. But 8/10 is actually another day when that is celebrated. And some years, you'll see there's basically like 2 Ramadans. This is one. And I don't know. I just thought to start talking about this. It's 5:55 in the afternoon. Maybe they're trying to tell me to change the subject. I wasn't really prepared for it, so it's hard to explain to non-Muslims. But it's like kind of like 2 Ramadans. Picture Muhammad having received some ideas into the Quran in June. And then the words started flowing and he started writing the actual book during this feast day, Laylat Qadr. Yeah, let's talk about it like that. All right, let me go to the significant events, and this is going to come up here, actually. I see it already. In the year 612 BC, the killing of Sin-Shar-Ishkun, king of Assyrian Empire, and the destruction of Nineveh. 610, the year 610, in Islam is the traditional date of the Laylat al-Qadr, when Muhammad began to receive the Quran. So that's what I was talking about. But I'll read a little bit about Ramadan, which we know was in June, to give you to further explain. So this is from www.wikipedia.org, and it's all the way down. You scroll down to where it says history. It's here. I just quickly looked this up as I was talking to you guys. So the month of Ramadan is that in which was revealed the Quran, a guidance for mankind and clear proofs of the guidance and the criterion of right and wrong. And whosoever of you is present, let them fast the month. And whosoever of you is sick on a journey a number of the days, Allah desires for you to ease. He desires not hardship for you, and that you should complete the period, and that you should magnify Allah for having guided you, and that perhaps you may be thankful. It's found in the Quran, verse 2, 185. It is believed that the Quran was first revealed to Muhammad during the month of Ramadan. So again, that was in June. It's now August. Yet on the calendar for today, we're talking about having received the Quran. So that's why I'm going over this. All right. It's believed that the Quran was first revealed to Muhammad during the month of Ramadan, which has been referred to as the best of times, in a quote. The first revelation was sent down on Laylat al-Qadr, or the night of power, which is one of the 5 odd nights of the last 10 days of Ramadan. So that is correct too. I think Ramadan ended this year on 6/15, if I remember correctly. 6/15 or 6/16 was the last day of Ramadan this year. So again, the 10th was the day that we celebrated Muhammad having been revealed the Quran. And that would be 5 days before the 15th or whatever. So it's among the last odd days of Ramadan. Which is one of the 5 odd nights of the last 10 days of Ramadan. Okay. Which again makes sense, the 10th into the 11th, because similar to Hebrew practice, we started like sundown, and then the next day is the whole day. The next day is the celebration. So that would make sense. I keep losing my place. All right, so it's one of the 5 odd nights of the last 10 days of Ramadan. According to Hadith, all holy scriptures were sent down during Ramadan. It's further believed that the tablets of Abraham, the Torah, the Psalms, the Gospel, and the Quran were all sent down on the 1st, 6th, 12th, and 13th of the month. And I'm sorry, the 1st, 6th, 12th, 13th, and 24th. Ramadan, respectively. Oh, of Ramadan, I guess they mean. You see those numbers? The 1st, 6th, 12th, 13th, and 24th. I, of course, was born on a 13th in the 6th month, which is just 3 days before, or 3 days after, rather, the Quran was revealed, and I got my name on the 24th. So I connect to a bunch of these numbers that are here. According to the Quran, fasting was also obligatory for prior nations and is a way to attain taqwa, or fear of God. I think I mentioned fear of God the other day in something. They used to try to put the fear of God in us, is what they called. Now I feel differently about that whole thing. That's not what God wants. But anyway, God proclaimed to Muhammad that fasting for his sake was not a new innovation or monotheism, but rather an obligation practiced by those truly devoted to the oneness of God. So saying it's not just something for Muslims to do, it's anybody who is connected to me, because I'm not about religion and sex. It's, one thing for everybody. It says the pagans of Mecca also fasted, but only on the 10th day of Muharram, to expiate sins and to avoid droughts. And it goes on if you guys want to continue to read, but I just wanted to try to bring some clarity to, like, if you were feeling deja vu, like, I thought we celebrated this day already in June. We did. Here's a second one. In the year 1497, John Cabot tells King Henry VII of his trip to Asia. And they have Asia in quotes, so I guess that's not necessarily what it was called at that time. 1675, King Charles II and John Flamsteed lay the foundation stone of the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, London. 1846, U.S. Act of Congress passes establishing the Smithsonian Institution, now the world's largest museum and research complex. Did you know Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart completes his chamber piece, Ein klein Nachtmusik, on this day, August 10th, in the year 1787. Famous birthdays: Vicente Guerrero, Hugo Echner, Herbert Hoover, Jack Haley, Antonio Banderas, Riddick Bowe. My mother knew him. He used to always be having barbecues and stuff. He was a boxer. Anyway, would you believe Louvre Palace officially opens in Paris as the Museum Central des Arts? This happened on August 10th in 1793. Famous weddings: 1848, inventor Samuel Morse, 57, wed Sarah Elizabeth Griswold in Utica, New York. 1912, which is 13/4/11/11, British literary figure, author of To the Lighthouse, Virginia Woolf, 30, weds political theorist Leonard Woolf. 1933, actress Hedy Lamarr, 19, weds Hindenburger Petroleum Fabric chairman Friedrich Mandel, 33. That was a mouthful. 1941, actor Jackie Coogan, 26, weds actress Flower Parry in Gardnerville, Nevada. 1946, or 11, author and founder of the Scientology cult, L. Ron Hubbard, 35, weds Sarah Northrop Hollister. And 2007, actor Jonathan Skaich, 37, divorces actress Christina Applegate, 35, due to irreconcilable differences after 4 years of marriage. Famous deaths: Robert H. Goddard and Michael Hauser. Michael Hauser was American and a guitarist, the joint founder of the band Widespread Panic. He was born on January 6 in 1962 and was a Capricorn from Boone, North Carolina, USA. He died on August 10th in 2002 at the age of 40 of pancreatic cancer. Robert H. Goddard was also American. He was a rocket pioneer, best known as the founding father of modern rocketry, and built the world's first liquid-fueled rocket, which successfully launched in 1926. He was born on October 5th in 1882 and was a Libra from Worcester, Massachusetts, USA. He died on August 10th in 1945 at the age of 62 of throat cancer. Going up to the birthdays. Riddick Bowe is 50. He's a boxer, was a boxer, two-time world heavyweight champion, and the first fighter to defeat Evander Holyfield when he beat him in 1992 for the undisputed world heavyweight title. Later, he became the first fighter to knock Holyfield out. His professional boxing record stands at 43-1-0. The 1 is a no contest. He was born on August 10th in 1967 and is 50 years old, a Leo from Brooklyn, New York. Antonio Banderas. Full name: Jose Antonio Dominguez Bandera, without the S. Is an actor. Banderas began his film career in his native Spain, appearing in a number of films by prominent Spanish director Pedro Almodovar. And these included Law of Desire, in which he played a gay man, and the intentionally successful Woman on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. Banderas then went on to gain a number of high-profile roles in Hollywood movies, including Assassins, Evita with Madonna, the Oscar-nominated Philadelphia, Desperado, The Mask of Zorro, and Spy Kids. Banderas was also the voice of Puss in Boots in the animated Shrek films. He was born on August 10th in 1960 and is 57 years old, a Leo from Malaga, Spain. Jack Haley is American and an actor. He's famous for The Wizard of Oz, Alexander's Ragtime Band. He was born on August 10th in 1897 and was a Leo from Boston, Massachusetts, USA. He died on June 6th in 1979 at the age of 81 of heart attack. I think he played the Scarecrow. They're not saying it here, but from my memory, he was the Scarecrow. Jack Haley, if anybody wants to check it out. Haley. Herbert Hoover was the 31st U.S. president and Republican, and he had also been United States Secretary of Commerce. His presidential term went from March 4th, 1929 through March 4th, 1933. He was preceded by Calvin Coolidge and succeeded by Franklin D. Roosevelt. He's famous because he previously served as the Secretary of Commerce and the Director of the U.S. Food Administration. Hoover was elected president in 1928 and was inaugurated in March of 1929. Less than 8 months after he took office, the Wall Street crash of 1929 precipitated the Great Depression around the world. Hoover's presidency is thus the most associated with this event. He attempted to combat the declining economy with mass public construction projects, including the Hoover Dam. Hoover raised taxes and reluctantly imposed tariffs during the Depression. Its unemployment reached 25%, and the public disagreed with his stringent pro-prohibition stance. Hoover lost substantial popular support, and he lost the 1932 election to Democrat Franklin D. Roosevelt. After leaving office, Hoover had the longest retirement of any president, 31 years, until Jimmy Carter surpassed his record in 2012. After World War II, he produced reports which changed U.S. occupation policy in Germany at the behest of Harry Truman, and also chaired the Hoover Commission, which recommended changes in the organization of the federal government. He was born on August 10th in 1874, or 9/11 or 11. He was a Leo from West Branch, Iowa, USA. He died on October 20th in 1964 at the age of 90. Hugo Echner was German, an inventor and Zeppelin commander. He perfected the Zeppelin airship invented by Ferdinand von Zeppelin during the interwar years as a manager of the Luftschiffbau Zeppelin Company, commander of the famous Graf Zeppelin for most of its record-setting flights, including the first airship flight around the world. Echner was the most successful airship commander in history, a vocal anti-Nazi whose planned arrest in 1933 was blocked by President von Hindenburg. Echner was instead blacklisted by the Nazi regime and eventually sidelined from his own company. Thus, he bore no responsibility for the Hindenburg disaster on May 6th in 1937. Very nice. Under Echner's management and focus on safety, the Zeppelin Company had a perfect safety record with no passenger ever sustaining a serious injury on any of the more than 1 million air miles flown by the rigid airships. He was born on August 10th in 1868 and was a Leo from Flensburg, Schleswig-Holstein, Germany. He died on August 14th in 1954 at the age of 86. And lastly, Vicente Guerrero was Mexican, a revolutionary general and president of Mexico. A revolutionary general and hero of the Mexican War of Independence, Guerrero fought against Spain for independence in the early 19th century and later served as the second president of Mexico in 1829. Again, 11 or 11, and of course the 19th century, particular number of note there. He championed the cause of Mexico's common people and abolished slavery during his brief term as president. His execution in 1831, which is 11/11, by the conservative government that had ousted him, shocked the young nation. He was born on August 10th in 1782 and was a Leo from Culapan, Oaxaca, Mexico. He died on February 14th, Valentine's Day, in the year 1831, which again equals 4, 11/11, or 13. He was 48 at the time, and the cause was executed by firing squad. And he was the last. There was something else I wanted to tell you guys about, though. Oh, so I told only you before about the fingers of God. I think I'm going to talk about it in the weekly, too. But here's another explanation of what they are. The other one was so scientific that I gave you the first time. So the fingers of God, also known as God's birdie, is a Bok globule, B-O-K, globule, located in the constellation Carina, C-A-R-I-N-A, approximately 8,000 light years from Earth. It is a mass of dust and gas approximately 2 light years long, which is broken off from the main body of the Carina Nebula. Light from nearby bright stars is expected to dissipate it within a few million years. While the Carina Nebula was first observed in 1752, dramatic changes of it were noted in 1841, and the Keyhole Nebula observed later that century. It was the Hubble Space Telescope that revealed details of the finger in 1999. And if you see a picture from the Hubble telescope of the finger of God, it looks like God holding up his middle finger. or, you know, the universe, space, you know, giving us the middle finger. So, of course, the finger of God also mentioned 11 times in the, oh, it's 613. Equals 19 right now. 11 times in the Bible. And we currently have the finger of God as one of the celestial alignments. So it's another rarity to add to everything else that has been going on. I think there's supposedly eight planets in retrograde, or celestial bodies in retrograde right now. Let me see. Neptune, Mercury, right? Uranus went last week. Pluto, Saturn, Mars, Chiron. It's really an asteroid, but they count it for these purposes as a planet, I think. That's 7. So there's something, either the number is 7 and not 8, or there's something that I'm forgetting. But anyway, there's a lot going on right now, as you guys know. So as I think I mentioned in the beginning, also this weekend, the new moon in Leo, the solar eclipse in Leo. The sun is also in Leo. The sun, which rules Leo, is also in Leo. Mars leaving Aquarius and going to Capricorn to join Pluto and Saturn there in retrograde. The month of Elul begins on the 12th. And Laylat al-Qadr, another period of fasting up until I think Eid is later on this month, actually. I believe it's the 21st when Eid begins again. 21st of this month. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure. All right. So let's go to the dice. I'm beginning with sex. Eat cake. And email. Spirit says cocktail, sex, and try again. I just heard sex of the baby. I don't know, maybe somebody's having some kind of gender reveal party or something this weekend, or they're learning, you know, over Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, they're learning the gender of their child or something like that. Anyway, beginning with the 6 of Fire, victory, good news is on its way, public recognition or awards. What is this they want to show us? It's the King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, 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 communicate with vision, and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire is a Leo. I've been talking a lot about Leo just in the past couple minutes. Sagittarius or Aries or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Also, the King of Fire is the representation of the divine masculine in the tarot. Opening to Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the High Priest or the Hierophant. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. The victory could be in some sort of legal situation or somewhere where you sign some sort of important documents or contracts, or we're in some sort of situation involving like the government or a large corporation or something like that. And maybe you were victorious in that sense. Opening to another 6, Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers, Archangel Raphael, important in relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions, good health. The 6, Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers, represents the sign of Gemini, perhaps another air sign. And connected to victory, could be in love, maybe getting married or entering some sort of commitment, or, you know, just surpassing reaching a milestone or something. Getting beyond some sort of difficulty that you had. In other scenarios, the Lovers can be attached to some sort of decision. So like I was just saying, maybe you were awaiting a decision, a legal decision, and you got it and you won, you know, something like that. The Lovers, the 4 of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Four of Water. And it's another 6. The 6 of water. Memories from your history or childhood. Issues regarding children. Romanticizing the past. Overall energy is the Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. Ace of Air also about victory, similar to the 6 of Wands with which we started. When I put the cards down, this fell away again, this 4 of water. So be careful of this energy on Friday or through the weekend. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Crowning the masculine is the High Priestess, Major Arcana card 2. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. Major Arcana card 2, the High Priestess, represents for me the sign of Gemini, like the lovers, but can also represent water signs. And it is about like sort of using your intuition and wisdom and, you know, what you've observed, information you have at your disposal, and stuff to make good decisions, basically, and to not just act, you know, without something on which to base it, even if that's something, or maybe especially if that's something, is your intuition. Surrounding the High Priestess is, or the masculine rather, is the 4 of Air. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. So when the Lover showed up, I said it may involve some sort of decision, possibly a legal decision. It doesn't have to be, of course. 4 of Air can also be about planning a trip. Masculine subconscious, the Page of Water. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. And this can also be about heightened psychic abilities, as can the card by which they are crowned, the High Priestess. The Page of Water, other than that, represents for me the sign of Pisces, but of course can also be Cancer, Scorpio, or anyone likened to these traits or attributes. The pages bring news. This one brings offers of love, like you might get some sort of emotional message, maybe email. That was one of the dice, I think, today, right? You might get an email that touches you or something. Crowning the feminine, it's the Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement. Change your life now. It doesn't have to be career advancement. It's anything, an opportunity in an area about which you are extremely passionate. So, or a relationship with someone about whom you're extremely passionate. Feminine surrounded by the 2 of Air, talking about decisions, and it's opposite the 4 of Air. So one could be making a decision, one could be awaiting it, or they both may have a decision to make, to come to a crossroad with this cross here and X here in the middle. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. So the 2 of Air is about the need to make a decision, but it's also about inaction, like, because you need to, but you're not. And in the feminine subconscious, Major Arcana card, the Devil, a false sense of entrapment. Being overly focused on material things and negative or fear-based thoughts. I think that this came up, maybe not the devil per se, but like about being stuck the day before, right? The reading for the 9th. Major Arcana card number 15. It's another 6, by the way. Ego is the devil in the tarot and represents the sign of Capricorn or perhaps another earth sign. Crowning the feminine, it's the Ace of Water. Beautiful. Falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship. Spiritual growth and enhanced intuition. Maybe even a new home. Ace of Water can also be the baby. It can be a relationship coming back, or a brand new relationship, or relationship coming back. Right? Ace of Water can often be about reconciliation. Maybe that's what the decision is about. Do we or do we not try this again? Wasn't try again one of the dice too? I think so today. At the root, Major Arcana card, the Sun with Archangel Uriel. Happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself. The Sun represents the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot. However, the Sun, as I was just saying a little while ago, rules the sign of Leo. So that could be definitely why it's here right now. This can also represent Aries too. We don't want to leave them out. You know, any of the fire signs. Sun is about things being illuminated, and they could perhaps be connected to the Ace of Air and truth coming out. You know, a light being shown on what was in the darkness. What's done in the dark always comes to light. Heart of the matter. Major Arcana card, release or death in the tarot, which represents the sign of Scorpio. The end of a phase or situation. Spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. So, could be the end of a circumstance, and again, maybe one involving some sort of decision, and perhaps even a legal decision. It's coming to a close. You're getting the decision. Could be the end of a phase, a period through which a couple was going, and they're about to embark upon a new beginning. That couple perhaps composed of a Scorpio, Scorpio or water sign, and a Leo or fire sign. Also connecting Scorpio to water right now, planet Jupiter, located in Scorpio at present. There's a lot of that here. We have the Scorpio or death crossing the devil also. Pluto currently retrograde in Capricorn, and Mars, Scorpio's other ruler, leaving Aquarius, as I said, and also entering Capricorn, retrograde in Capricorn for a period. So this can be how this will affect some of us. May find ourselves in the place of indecision and limbo when things, opportunities show up. Perhaps because of the way that we're affected by the retrograde, we may feel stuck in a prior situation, like we can't move forward, or stuck in fear or ego or something that we have to address, the way that retrogrades tend to make us, have us do. Also, this could be a relationship between a Gemini and a Scorpio specifically, if not just an air sign and a water sign. So air and water, water and fire, fire and earth. Could be really, really prominent situations on this day. We'll give a little clarification to the feminine's devil. Page of Air, logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. So maybe she feels stuck in a situation or circumstance because it has been delayed, and that's rendered her unable, or feeling at least unable, to make a decision about whatever this is that involves something or someone about which she is extremely passionate. Also, again, some information could have come to light, maybe revealed by, just spit out by a page of air, a Gemini. Right? These two Gemini energies mirroring one another here. Could be attached to Mercury. I didn't mention that, air and fire. Mercury, Gemini's ruler, currently retrograde in Leo. You also could be delayed in making a decision like you wanted to, but you got held up because you didn't have the information. That's possible too, because it was stuck. There was no movement because of this devil energy. Can involve an actual person as a court card. This page of air can represent an actual person, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone, you know, likened to that. Look at one more. Five of water. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. I get so tired of this. So like a new beginning, a new opportunity. Should be really good, but because of whatever this is, that you use as an opportunity to not do anything, which isn't necessarily bad. Sometimes inaction is what we're meant to do, and inaction is, you know, in effect, action, right? It's the action of not doing anything. Resulting here in this sort of, oh, woe is me, like I was blessed, but not exactly the way I wanted to be, or, you know, by whom or what I wanted to be, or, you know, yes, I'm getting a new beginning, but it's off to a rough start, you know, it's a bumpy road. So not being thankful that you were blessed is what the Five of Water represents. All right, take one more in association with the decision. And it's that Four of Water that kept coming up. So the feminine just having to watch her energy on Friday and through the weekend, and making sure that we count our blessings and appreciate the small things, and the fact that we woke up even in the morning, and not, you know, take so much for granted is the message here to the feminine, because you are being presented with a new opportunity. We got 3 aces in this spread. Ace of air, ace of water, ace of fire. You know, like, stop being so greedy, basically. Further advice to the masculine: balance, or major arcana card temperance, which, like the sun in the tarot, represents the sign of Sagittarius, or the planet Jupiter. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. The temperance card is a card of healing too, restoration. So it could be very much attached to this Four of Air, where he just needs to get his, like, some wind back in his sails. He might need actual sleep. Last week we saw the Two of Earth a few times. A lot of them, I said, well, they were working too hard and trying to get as many hours in, becoming stressed out, and, you know, running their pressure up and stuff. So he may be having to actually take a break and lay down here so that he can be restored, and he will be. Whatever areas, you know, where he was depleted will be replenished by this energy of Jupiter and temperance. And it's also, for me, connected to the energy of Aquarius, because I don't care what anybody says, that's a water bearer that's on the card. For the feminine, major arcana card 7, the Chariot with Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. The Chariot represents the sign of Cancer. It can be about travel, movement. It could be movement in an area. So like I said, this could have been slowed up or delayed even, and now it's moving because we got some information or something. Right, this page brought us some news, some info, shed light on the situation. Now we can make a decision, or not still. All of that can be what the Chariot is representing. Chariot also being about getting in the driver's seat of your own life, and, you know, taking life by the reins, yeah. Taking the bull by the horns, as they say. You know, you're in control. Also has to do with modes of transportation, planes, trains, automobiles. Somebody could be getting a new car, maybe, and that's making them very happy. Might have been held up before, the contract, the paperwork, by Mercury retrograde, perhaps. Somebody may be having to let go of an older car or something. Home. Somebody could be moving, and so you're having to let go of the old one and allow for a new one. There can be something with regard to a relationship. Right? This devil can represent many things to which we feel, chained, that we have to leave. Somebody could be leaving an old relationship and they're getting a new one. So you have to allow death and rebirth, right? Death to the old one and birth of a new one here. Chariot can be about that, moving on. It could be about physical moving, a new home, leaving your old one, going to a new one. All of those things. And yeah, there's a need to be thankful for that. The next card was upright. I was going to look at another one for the masculine's temperance card here. Six of Water. So for some of us, it's healing in the area of our relationships for sure. Soulmate relationships. And that might be why the Page of Water is here. Restoration in those relationships, a la Jupiter and the energy of Sagittarius. Memories from your history or childhood. Issues regarding children. Romanticizing the past. The Six of Water, it can have something to do with children, and the Page of Water sometimes can too, as can the Ace. And I did hear that message in the beginning about the baby's sex, but I doubt that applies to too many, if it applies to more than one at all. I think that this is more so about soulmate relationships and people from your past that you're going to be happy to see and finish out whatever it is you guys are meant to finish out. Allow an end to that, and then a new beginning for you, whatever that means. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the daily reading. I'll be back on Monday or Tuesday. We'll see. Namaste, angels.